In this video, let's talk about the character of Shego, who is definitely one of my favorite characters from the Kim Possible series. She ranks right behind Kim Possible herself, and she's awesome for so many reasons. It's worth exploring why she remains one of the most likable and memorable characters in the entire show. Shego isn't just your average villainous sidekick. She's really complex and has a depth that sets her apart from other characters. If you've watched the series, you know that Dr. Drakken is all about world domination and wants to conquer the entire world. However, Shego is a different story altogether. She's much more laid back and sarcastic, often just going along with Drakken's plans without being super passionate about world domination.
Who wants to build a robotic? I do.
Dr. Drakken, you know you said that out loud, don't you?
She serves as the muscle behind his schemes, even though his plans rarely work out as intended. This lack of enthusiasm for Drakken's grandiose ambitions makes her pretty amusing to watch, especially when she seems like she's just there for the ride. One of the things that makes her so cool is her effortless style and deadpan humor, along with her witty one-liners.
You got hit by Drakken's machine, and you two switched. Oh, this is just too great. Oh, you say something. Come on.
These are what really bring her character to life and make her so memorable. She brings a sense of realism to the show by acting as the voice of reason when Drakken's over-the-top antics are happening. Her reactions to Drakken's dramas are hilarious, and it keeps the show feeling more grounded and realistic, even when things get crazy. What's really interesting about Shego is that she's not evil just to be evil. Instead, she's more of a mercenary who works for Drakken because he pays well and keeps her entertained. This is the core of her character. She's not driven by a desire for power or domination, but rather by being pretty straightforward about what she wants. She just likes getting paid and having fun, which makes her different from your typical villain. Her relationship with Dr. Drakken is another standout aspect of her character. While he's supposed to be the mastermind behind their schemes, it's often Shego who keeps him in line and makes sure things actually get done.
Perhaps we should get the manual.
Gee, you think?
They're kind of like a comedy duo, except they're supervillains. Drakken is the arrogant leader who always thinks he's got a brilliant plan, while Shego is the confident snarky second-in-command who constantly rolls her eyes at his harebrained ideas. She is well aware of Drakken's flaws and isn't afraid to call him out, which makes their dynamic super entertaining.
Don't stop to tell her the plan.
I'll handle this, Shego.
Yeah, all I know is every time you stop to blab about your big plan, she wins.
Despite all the times she complains about his plans, there's a sense of loyalty between them that people really enjoy. Whenever they're on screen together, it's clear that they have a certain chemistry, and that's part of why their interactions are so enjoyable. Another reason Shego is so beloved is how incredibly cool she is. Her style and powers are just awesome, and she's one of the most skilled fighters in the show. She can hold her own in combat, and she's often the reason why Dr. Drakken's plans don't completely fall apart right from the start. Given that most of his ideas are pretty bad, it's Shego who actually manages to make them go further than you'd expect, even though they always end up failing in the end. Her hand-to-hand combat skills are top tier, and she regularly goes toe-to-toe with Kim Possible, which is no easy feat. Her signature green energy blaster is super impressive, and her combination of physical strength, agility, and energy-based attacks makes her a very strong villain. Out of all the villains in the series, she's definitely the most skilled one. Her design is also a standout aspect of her character. The sleek black and green jumpsuit, her pale skin, and the long flowing black hair make her instantly recognizable. The green in her outfit perfectly matches her energy-based powers, giving her a distinct and memorable look. Her design exudes confidence and power, which makes her stand out a lot. But beyond her looks, Shego also has a moral compass that's not entirely black and white. There are several moments in the series where we see glimpses of her more complex side. She's the type of villain who does bad things, but at the same time, she has a sense of not going too far. This is something that a lot of people like about her. She's not entirely ruthless. Even though she's on the villainous side, there are moments where we see a softer side of her. For instance, when she was hit with a personality-altering ray, her personality changed from being bad to good, and she even formed a bond with Kim.
Thanks for the lift, KP. Thanks for everything. You're the best. Sure. Don't mention it.
They had some really great moments together, which was heartwarming to see. And even when she went back to normal, she still remembered those moments she shared with Kim. It was clear that she had to let go of those feelings because they didn't fit with who she was supposed to be, a villain. But what's really interesting is that this showed she wasn't entirely evil. Shego has 4 brothers, Higo, Migo, and the Wego twins, and it's no secret that she can't stand them. But she doesn't necessarily hate them, which is pretty interesting.
Now that I know the whole story, I think you secretly wanted to lose.
Are you saying that I am going soft?
As a marshmallow. Shego, I take it back! You're not a softie!
This just goes to show that there are layers to her personality that are not entirely evil. Her connection with Kim Possible is also a really interesting part of her character. She is arguably Kim's best rival, and one of the highlights of the show is when they face off against each other because their interactions are full of snark and tension, mixed with a mutual respect that makes their fights so compelling. Shego doesn't underestimate Kim's abilities. She actually acknowledges her as a worthy opponent, which sets her apart from many other villains who often make the mistake of underestimating the hero. Both Kim and Shego are unique yet similar at the same time. They're both highly skilled fighters and strong-willed individuals with a knack for getting things done. It's pretty intriguing to think that if circumstances were different, Shego could easily have been on the side of good. Her dynamic with Kim is a big part of what makes their battles so engaging. In fact, in the show, it's revealed that Shego used to be a hero. She was part of a superhero team called Team Go with her brothers, but she couldn't stand them, and she found being a hero to be boring. She discovered that being a villain was more exciting and entertaining for her, so she decided to leave her past life behind and embrace her new role as a bad guy. In a way, it's fitting to imagine her as a hero because she used to be one, but I think she fits better as a villain. The Kim Possible franchise ended years ago, and up until this point, there's been no word about a return. It's very unlikely that we will have a new season for the series. Despite this, Shego's character remains a standout in the series due to her blend of humor, strength, charisma, and complexity. Even years after the show wrapped up, people still love her, which shows just how well her character was crafted. Shego's ability to balance humor and villainy, while also being a complex and relatable character, makes her one of the most beloved and memorable villains in the entire series.